All right, I'll say, how are you all this evening of your time as you create time to exist? We begin this interaction this evening of your time with the following entitlement, if you wish. The idea being light bodies. As we have shared many times with members of your society, you are part and parcel, gradations, radiations, pieces, if you will, and at the same time fully representative of what you label God, what you label all that is. That aspect that you think of as God, as all that is composed of what you would label the white light of infinite creation. It is, in a very real sense, ecstasy, pure ecstasy, for that is the component, that is the ingredient necessary for creation, ecstasy. Therefore, you are all versions of this light, broken down in specific and individualized ways. You are very really, in a sense, a prism that does break down the white light of infinite ecstatic creation. And that prism is composed of three sides. Those being your beliefs, your belief systems, your emotion, energy motion, the activating factor or feature, and your thoughts. Thereby, they comprise the three aspects of the prism that does break down the white light of creation into the individuals that you do deem yourselves to be. Each person, each representation of this broken down light contains the whole. For the idea of creation is holographic. What we mean by the idea of holographic is that every point contains all points. Not just philosophically, not just figuratively speaking, but literally. Therefore, you are all creating your own reality, and you are doing so via, if you will, your beliefs, your emotions, and your thoughts. Therefore, you are each, in a sense, the white light of creation itself. Though part of the exploration you have imparted upon, that being of separation, of individualization, you may, in a sense, use the analogy, although you do contain the totality of all that is, that for the purposes of this exploration, as you label it, you are in a very real sense a spark of infinite creation. We shall embark with you this evening of your time upon what you might label, though not in a effortful way, an exercise, one that will, in a sense, nurture the crystalline seed spark of infinite creation within you, to allow you to feel in an experiential sense that although your society has labeled that you have many bodies, many representative forms, the form you presently most strongly identify with being the physical body, you have also labeled many other portions of your being, various bodies, the astral body, the mental body, and so forth. These ideas, they are all, in a sense, coming together within what you may label your light body. For that body will be, in a sense, a truer representation of your overall essence, your overall higher self, not meaning to make the separation between your physical self and your higher self, for they are one and the same. When you do, in a sense, speak about communicating with your higher self, that does presuppose a separation, that you are separate from your higher self. When you speak of achieving your higher self, that also draws a separation, where there is no separation other than the way you define it. Therefore, realize you are your higher self at all times. And simply by this realization and recognition, you may begin to experience harmonious alignment with that idea. For in these explorations of physicality, you have broken yourself down into many parts, into many compartments. They are only as real as you define them to be, and therefore act as if they are real. As we have said and do maintain, you are always 100% beings. Even if you choose to use 90% to make it seem as though you're only using 10, you're always 100% all the time. Therefore, with this recognition in mind, we will nurture again what we have labeled the crystalline seed within you, the spark of infinite creation. For in a sense, because you do draw separation, because you are exploring that type of individuality, you may, as of now, view yourself as but a spark. However, this is not necessarily the case, other than how you do define it to be. Therefore, close your eyes, and we shall together embark upon a nurturing of this seed. Take deep 3 loving breaths. Allow them to be, as you say, cleansing breaths. Allow them to be nurturing breaths. Think of them in any way, shape, or form that you will. Before we do proceed, and as you are relaxing into yourself, recognize and realize this idea. When we do, from time to time, embark upon exercises, meditations, and this type of format with your civilization, we always mention that your imagination will alter these processes. Do not think that that is an interruption. Do not think that in any way, shape, or form you are tainting what we are saying. It is the function of your imagination to individualize, to tailorize, if you will, things specifically for you. Therefore, whatever you get is right for you, unless you label that it is not. It has no other inherent power, however. So, in the spirit of keeping with, harmoniously aligning with your higher self, realize that a faculty of your overall being is your imagination, and that you may use it as a tool instead of just an escape. Your society has labeled that it is a fantasy-generating element, and that people escape into their imaginations. That is very good. That is an exploration of imagination. However, it is much more highly specialized, much more finely honed than simply that idea. And it can allow you to tailor anything you do here by, and here's the key, simply validating what you get from your imagination. Therefore, as you will alter, as you will perceive what we are sharing with you, it is absolutely perfect for you at that timing. Now, in any way, shape, or form that you are accustomed, allow yourself to relax, to feel as if, you say, you are floating, and create for the purposes of comfort, for the purposes of harmonious feeling, your place of perfect peace, wherever that may be, whether it is a place or not. Simply allow yourself now to go there. And you will very really be, while you are there, at a point of zero rest state. As you do, feel yourself suspended, so that the forces you have become accustomed to, gravity, are not imposing upon you, so that you are floating, so that you do not feel weighed down. Allow yourself to visualize within your chest cavity, within your heart area, in a midline fashion, the idea of a spark, the idea of a small, in a sense, star or gateway within you. By allowing yourself to relax into yourself, as we have said, begin to visualize this idea of this spark. As you are floating in the electromagnetic fluid of your planet, feeling as though you are weightless, begin to experience the idea of this spark per se as beginning very slowly, very lovingly, in a very comfortable way, growing, so that it begins to encompass more of your physical body. Begin to allow it to expand to the point that it encompasses your entire torso cavity, as you say. And as it does, slowly creep in size, slowly gain in momentum, it begins to touch up against the boundaries that you have labeled your physical being. Simply allow it to nestle up very comfortably and cozily to what you label the insides of your skin, till this light takes up your entire body. For the time being, stopping at the barrier that you do consider your skin, your outer covering. Allow yourself to experience this light, being as this light. Realize and recognize you no longer contain glands, you no longer contain organs, but you now simply contain the expanded white light of creation within your being, within your physical body. As you do, allow now, slowly, at whatever rate is comfortable for you, for this light to begin to penetrate your skin barrier and begin to radiate outwardly slowly, still in a sense maintaining the shape of your body, but now expanding beyond those barriers, beyond that border. As the energy does radiate out and become thicker and fatter and more encompassing, allow yourself to coalesce outward into what you would label a sphere of light. Allow yourself to feel as the sphere of light, no longer confined in a sense to your physical body, although the sphere of light does contain the idea of your physical body. Allow yourself to revel and recognize, realize most strongly, you are swimming, you are submersed in the ecstatic light of infinite creation that you are. Allow yourself to be not similar to the light, but as the light itself. As you settle into this idea, you now become aware that you are the entire universe. You contain it all. Yet paradoxically, around you are other spheres. Allow yourself to perceive these other spheres. Allow yourself to expand outward, to begin to encompass the idea of these other spheres, so that the sphere you now are begins to contain many spheres, those of what you label the individuals around you. As you do, realize and recognize in, as you say, no uncertain terms, you are aligning with the energy of all others present. There is a mass alignment occurring within this exercise. Whether you do feel that you perceive it or not, it is occurring. It is happening. It is felt by the universe. Just as you would drop a rock in the middle of a pond and that ripple will eventually encompass the perimeter of the entire pond, so does the ripple of the light of your being begin to radiate out 360 degrees in all directions. As you allow yourself to grow, to build the momentum of what you label this light, recognize that the center of your planet also contains a sphere of light. Allow yourself, while in a resting stage, to appreciate the sphere of this light of your crystalline planet Earth, your emerald planet Earth, to begin to grow within the planet, so the light is now radiating outward until it encompasses the entire planet. And now, rather than the light being within the planet is within the light. As you do, allow yourself to now contain, as paradoxical as this may seem, the sphere of light of your planet. So now you are a very large sphere of light that contains many other spheres, and now is merging and containing the sphere of the light of your planet. Recognize that just as this did allow you to harmoniously align with the vibration of those around you, you are now aligning harmoniously with the vibration of your planet. For as you are finding within your society all planetary bodies, as well as the central seed mass in any given solar system that you do label a star, has consciousness. Therefore, allow yourself to align with the idea of the energy of your planet. Simply in this state for a moment, be as the light of infinite creation that you already are in a conscious way. Allow whatever thoughts or feelings that you have to come into your consciousness, realizing that now that you are aligned with your planet, aligned with the other individuals on your planet, that you may feel, you may perceive momentarily during the course of this event, to feel as the planet, as each other. Therefore, validating any thought that you now get. Recognize that this all did begin within what we labeled your heart area. What we shall now do is use this gate that you have labeled a chakra, which is very really an energy vortex, an energy vortex, a gateway to infuse the sphere of light that you are with as much unconditional love as you can muster. Feel it now building within that heart area, growing larger, stronger. I will count, as you say, 2, 3. Upon doing so, allow that energy to build. When we hit that number 3, release it in an explosive fashion into the sphere that you now are, that encompasses all others, encompasses your planet. 1, 2, 3, release. Allow yourself to feel the effects of so much love. Do not be concerned if it is your tendency to release in whatever manner that may come. Realize and recognize that this is not simply an exercise. You are literally injecting your planet, injecting your consciousness, injecting the consciousness of others insofar that they allow you to influence them with unconditional love. Simultaneously, you have done so by injecting it through your own self, for that is the only way to love another. It begins with yourself, unconditionally loving yourself. Revel, swim in this idea for, as you say, a moment. What you label upon your planet, the Christ consciousness, from our perspective, is your mass consciousness, a mass consciousness that at the same time has its own recognitions, its own view. Simply, you have now allowed yourself to activate through that lens, through that prism, most appropriately in this time of joyous occasion of your year, to flush your planet with the love. Realize you shall see all around you from this moment forward the effects of this love. Things which seemed most unlikely within your world scenario will occur. Simply keep your eye out and you will perceive this idea. Things which seem miraculous will begin to appear. Recognize, miracles are not the exception to the rule. They are the rule. Miracles are commonplace. It is simply your belief that they are not that makes it so within your reality. Allow yourself at whatever rate is comfortable for you to begin again to condense down your being, to reduce the size of the light sphere that you are. Slowly allow it to reduce till again you feel your body within the middle of a sphere only slightly larger than your body. While in this state, again, recognize and acknowledge the alignment that has just taken place. Allow yourself to slowly, at your own pace, recede so that you now again perceive your boundaries, your outer shell. But at this point, we shall not condense any further. For you have nurtured the spark that you are, and you have initiated and created your light body. Within future interactions and within other events that will synchronistically come into your life, having nothing to do with these interactions, you will find many uses for this idea. You have now, in a sense, graduated to the next level of beingness, simply by participating in this exercise. You have recreated, as you do in each and every moment anyway, your being. However, you have done so according to the unconditional love and ecstasy of infinite creation. Allow yourself to reacclimate to your surroundings, coming back into what you label your room at your own pace, your own timing. Before we begin the interaction that we label the sharing, we wish to make one other point. When you have a conception, when you have an idea, whether it is an idea about how you wish to be, you are at that moment that idea. At that moment, you are that idea already. You have then recreated yourself in the moment you are experiencing it as that idea. You may then go and recreate your old self again, but you do not have to. There is no process necessary to get anywhere other than what you label within your belief systems a necessity for having a process. Once you conceive of an idea, you are that idea. If you then begin to realize that you already are that way, not looking forward to being that way, not wishing you were that way, not creating a process so that you can get from here to there, but simply recognizing you are that idea, and then moving in action as though you already are that idea, then you are. And that is as simple as it is to change anything within your life. There is no more inherent momentum behind any one idea than another, other than what you assign it to be. One of the ways to give greater momentum to an idea is, and this may seem paradoxical, but it works out that way, to invalidate it. By invalidating an idea, you do not push it away, rendering it powerless. You focus more intently upon it and give it more power. That is why these things can seem insurmountable. By simply validating all, whether or not you agree with it, the effect is to equalize these energies. The effect of having equalized energies is that you may equally choose either, with no more effort to choose one than another. Therefore, the mechanism of realizing that when you have an idea, you are that idea, and acting that way, and not invalidating anything, determining your preference, determining where you stand on an idea, defining yourself, but not invalidating what you do not prefer, allowing it to be in a sense. Realizing it has validity for the individuals that are within that discovery, that exploration. Therefore, you never can get rid of anything anyway. For you are the entire universe. Where are you going to get rid of it to? The harder you push an idea away, the furthest that it can go is to the boundaries of the totality of who you are. And it will bounce back with as much veracity and force as you push it away. By validating any idea, any given concept, you integrate it rather than trying to force it out. You allow it to integrate. Here is an ideal. Here is where I stand in comparison to that ideal. All right, I don't agree with that. Don't have to manifest it, experience it, but it is there, it is valid, and I shall go off in my own merry direction. That is all it takes to change anything within your reality. Therefore, in exchange for your willingness to share with our civilization, with our consciousness, while allowing us the gift of your consciousness, which we relish greatly, I ask you now, how may I be of service to you? Sharing